We need to start like this, buddy. There we go. Look at that. Welcome back
I
to
love it.
Action, everyone. We've got Daryl from Detroit right here. He just took, how many listings did you take, buddy, just over the last week?
Well, over the weekend, we took 5 listings from just Google pay-per-click ads.
That's nuts, man. That's
Mm.
crazy. I love hearing that because I love seeing other people's successes. And today I'm excited to talk to you because I love AI. I love what's been happening with lots of pieces being added to either Follow Up Boss or Ylopo or Rooster or any other company that we integrate through Follow Up Boss. But tell me, what are you doing right now to get most of your business? And then let's tie that into AI.
So a lot of our business, almost 100% of our business outside of Sphere of Influence is just strictly Google pay-per-click. Backstory is I used to spend $60 to $72,000 a month on Zillow. And then, the cost of leads kept going up. How was it? Yeah, that's it, right? So the truth be told is I got tired of it, right? The problem is that when you buy those types of leads, speed to lead is important. You're not necessarily getting the type of quality of a buyer that you may want to work with. So we switched to Google pay-per-click, and last week this weekend, just coming off this weekend, we took 5 Google pay-per-clicks, and we took right around 20 listings last month from Google pay-per-click and Follow Boss.
All right, explain that to me because I think that's actually that entices me to listen to you more along the lines of how did you get those listings? Where did they come from specifically? And how are you approaching them so that you lock them in?
So the biggest thing is, and the most failure in real estate, and I've been in the game, I think 13 or 14 or something like that, I can't recall, is follow-up, right? Follow-up is everything. These were leads that were anywhere from 6 months to 3 years ago. And a lot of the follow-up was potentially people like, hey, we're waiting to sell because of rates, right? And rates weren't moving anywhere, right? But what I call a condition is something that you can't change. It's going to happen regardless if you like it or not. The conditions were going so strong that these people are now like, hey, we want to sell our homes and we want to buy. Regardless, we'll just deal with it down the road. So I don't, and I was telling Tristan earlier before we got on this, I don't use a lot of third-party plugins. I use very minimal, and our major key is Ylopo for us, and Ylopo runs our Google pay-per-click management campaign. The truth be told, I know some people spend $10,000 a month on Ylopo. My Ylopo is only $3 or $4 grand a month,
dude. So you're up down from $70,000 plus a month on Zillow to what, like a few $1,000s on Ylopo, and you're having this great success. Do you attribute that to a specific process, the automated drips that you have, the Raya AI, or what do you attribute this?
I attribute to a lot, 100%. You're right on all things. So Follow Up Boss has some great automations, right? So and it works hand in hand with Ylopo. So having Ylopo and running retargeting ads, I spend around $1,000 to $1,500 a month on retargeting. Mind you, I have a very large database, and people could say, well, Daryl, you have 173,372 people in your database. Kim, I'm in Detroit. So people would say, hey, Daryl's got a large database, right? That's not just the case. So we run retargeting ads, and then when the clients engage, we use the automations in Follow Up Boss to start drip campaigns again. So if the client, and then the agents, it texts the agents, and the agents are on it, and they're just trying to find the conditions. So we went from 72 grand, and don't get me wrong, I was at 7 and 10 grand, and based on a conversation Barry Jenkins and I had, I may very well run up to 10 grand a month on Ylopo. But we're using Rhea, the AI from Rhea, the chat bot, the calling, And YLopo has that crazy program where the artificial intelligence calls the leads. So having a team, I have agents who are like, oh yeah, we have accountability calls 3 times a week. But I already know people don't tell the truth, right? So,
Yeah.
but Rhea doesn't sleep. So I would contribute it to YLopo is our biggest tool, and in retargeting. Having the ability to put ads in front of 173,000 people over and over and over and over, it gets burned in their brain. They should work with our team.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. Yeah, I want to share really quick. I'm gonna go to Google. All right, and
Yeah, absolutely.
we're gonna play a little game here. Homes for sale. Oh, look, it already knows. I put in homes for sale in Detroit, Michigan, right?
Mhm.
And here's the Google pay-per-click section. So you've got Movoto, which is Ojo. You've got Zillow as a sponsored ad. Sponsored again, Redfin, and sponsored again, Realtor.com. In fact, you're in a big market, so it's normal to see the big three here. Trying to take up these leads before they reach to us, right? So that's only part of it, though. This is why you're doing Google PPC. By the way, I'd love to see you do more on Google PPC, especially with your success. I want to know what happens as soon as the lead gets to you, because that's where a lot of people fail. What tools do you have in place that are either automated or even machine learning like AI? Is it only Raya? Well, tell me the process. How do you lock them in fast and then create value to keep them there?
So we use YLopo as the key piece, right? And then we have some automations through Trello where we send a text. Before the agent even gets the ability to call them, within seconds as the lead registered, they're already getting home searches sent to them. The thing that's different from us is that we've also set up a seller alert based on the community that they're looking in. So people looked at seller alerts like, oh, this is only for a seller. We want the buyer to know what they're going into before they even put boots on the ground.
Got it.
So we do that. And then right off the bat, if there's a couple options. If it's a seller's lead, we've figured out how to automate the system that they're getting the whole breakdown of our listing presentation before they even get on the phone with us. They know how many buyers are in our database that match their home, that are active in our database. Buyers, they're getting 3 top homes sent to them before the agent gets on the phone, and it's coming from that agent. So that agent gets on the phone, and the seller's like, oh, it's almost like you have to tell the agent to calm down for a minute, because the buyer is already into the link inside YLopo looking at the homes.
Yeah.
So we've automated that process. So we're trying, because here's what's happened. Here's what we've learned is if the buyer is online, they're clicking all over the place. But we're trying to distract them before they get to Zillow and their phone starts blowing up with 50 million agents calling them. So we set up the automations that they get a seller alert, a buyer's alert, and we're sending that information to them via a text, so they can look at homes. So hopefully we'll get them off of Zillow, Redfin, Trulia, or Realtor.com, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, man. Here's the piece that I am gonna take from this, and because a lot of people are thinking, well, what do I do? Here's what I noticed that you do differently that we don't do, by the way. So thank you for this. You are putting everyone that comes in on a seller campaign as well. And one thing that I was talking to a company last week on, a company that has all of the sellers in the US in their database, all of them. Okay. So that means they had shared data with CoreLogic and Black Knight. They said that 60% of all of the inquiries that come through are actual owners of homes. And if you're doing what you say you're doing, which you are, that just makes a lot more sense as to why you're getting listings from this, right? Like
Well,
you're
yeah. Well, people will say this between you and I. People will say, "Oh, I actually have a home to sell. I had a realtor friend or a family member, but you've given us so much information and so much value. Um, can we work with you?" And
yeah.
or maybe they don't want to burn that bridge, and maybe we pay them a small referral fee to their friend or family member. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The client said,
No.
"Oh, we actually own a home," because people don't want to be homeless, right? They don't. So
That's so true. That's very
yeah,
true.
and yeah,
Take me through your process then. We're going through now, everyone's on a drip, everyone's getting notifications. What is the nurture process like? Because I think that's where a lot of people lose it. Do you use AI to nurture?
yeah,
Do you,
we use that phone. Yeah, yeah. So you're 100% right, Tristan. Like, there's no denying it. I think that the truth was the what back in the days, we've been in the industry for a long time. It used to take 7 to 10 contacts. Literally, it could take up to 20 contacts before somebody even acknowledges that we're trying to communicate with them. So, for us, we 100%, going forward, we're focusing on Wide Lopo's AI calling for the new leads. We're going to let that do the heavy lifting.
Oh,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then, we have, so right now, any lead that comes in and drops in the pond, we're running drip campaigns, and the agents have to call the lead 10 times,
okay.
twice a day.
Take me through that. A new lead comes through. The agent has to call them 10 times. That's on top of any drips that are happening, or take me through that.
So yeah, so the lead will come in. We have some ISAs overseas. We have 2, right? And they handle that. But the agent is also calling. So if somebody goes into the pond and says, "Hey, I like this lead," they're calling them twice a day for 5 days, right? And they're sending text messages too. At that point, either the agent or the ISA or Rhea Wailopo, right? At that point, they're putting in the correct stages. So we have our automation set up in Follow Up Boss by changing the stages, which you should, that ultimately makes a different drip campaign, right? Or it makes Rhea act a different way through Wailopo. If we don't have any communication with them, and Rhea's not having any communication with them, we move them to a different stage, uncontacted. We'll just continue to send them listings and text them through texting by Betty and things of that nature. So we don't 10 phone calls in 5 days is not that much, right? When you have, it's not that much. So
is it just phone calls when you're saying, is it 10 contacts, or is it?
Well, we consider a phone call, text, and all that. Yeah. It has to be a phone call and followed up by a text. If they don't answer, we hang up and call them back a second time. So literally you have to make 20 calls, right? And a text. So for me, and I do prospect and I do sell homes, I send a video message, right? I would take that all day over a standard text. So to answer your question, I don't like the term contact, right? Because I text them, right? And then what I do, when I call twice, and then I send a video message, as soon as I'm done, I grab the link from Wide Lopo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't send them some Zillow crap, and then I send them a list of the homes that are for sale in their area, and I send that text to them with the link. So on Wide Lopo, you can set up the search, and then we grab the link and I send it to them in a text.
I like that, man. I like that. So then take me through, after the 10 contacts are done, you connect with them, you send them the link, and you have this process down. What happens after that? Because I think this is where we lose the connection to the lead.
So the great thing about using Follow Boss or Wide Lopo, again, I know this isn't a Wide Lopo group, but And the great thing is we know instantly if the client clicked on that link. We know if they logged and looked at the homes.
Mhm.
So we'll see that they looked at a property 2 or 3 times, right? We don't, as soon as the client logs in, we don't just go, punching on them, because we probably know that they're in either aspirational or research phase, not transactional.
Yeah.
Till we figure out, till we have a conversation with them. Nobody's transactional till we talk to them. So
makes
at that point, when somebody starts clicking on clicking on the property 3 or more times,
Mhm.
then we send a video message. Hi, this is Daryl. I'm calling with ABC Realty. I see that you looked at the property 123 Main Street 4 or 5 times. I'm just curious. This home is grabbing your attention. What can I do to help further your home experience? And I send a video message, and it's not so scripted, but it's hard to, do Zooms and not be scripted. So we send a video message, and then the client says, "Oh, I'm out, 4 or 5 months." Okay, great. "Oh, Daryl, I need to work on my credit a little bit." Okay, great. But most of the times we find out that the customer did not communicate with us right away because they were concerned about something that was bothering them. Maybe they thought they were too far out. They didn't want to bother us. Maybe they thought their credit score was 20 points too low. They didn't want to bother us.
Yeah.
So we try to head that off in the one-on-one conversations through video,
That makes sense, man. How many agents are on your team?
We have 10.
Then, all right, cool. I want to really quick show on the back end a follow-up, boss, because there was a question. Usually when there's a question, that means that other people are thinking it too. So we've got somebody here on my database. So we've got on this database, this is mine, follow-up, boss.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've got like 76,000 people on this, but we've got Molly right here. She's Wailopa. She came in 5 years ago, dude. 5 years ago. A long time ago. And you can see all her communication here. We can see the latest, why she came back in. But for us, once we've talked to her again, because we haven't recently, my goal is to this home search, because we have the app now connected on here, right?
Right. Yeah, that's a great app.
So we have the MLS search here. And the key is I have to talk to you before I actually send you this. I don't want to just send it to you and then hope you open it or hope you download the app, right? That's the key for me. That's how we've been using the app. As far as links in general for home searches, they already visited Wailopo, Daryl, so they're already on. And that search is changing automatically. The thing that I'm loving is now that Wailopo is connecting to Rooster, and that's going to be their official app. So now you're going to have...
Yeah, that's the MLS app. Yep, 100%.
Every time somebody searches
it's a game changer, it's a game changer, 100%.
Dude, how do people not do that, right? So that to me is amazing. Patrick, it's called Rooster. Let me type it in, and they're going to Rooster. There it is. They're already testing out the integration. It comes out officially January 1st, but the integration's already being tested out. And so you have follow-up, boss, with everything all in one place. You have the drips on there. You have Raya, or if you have call action also has you can add too, right? And then you have the Wailopo system that gives you leads, retargets them through AI on social. And then now when you talk to them, you can connect them to your app, right? And that to me, now we've seen data which shows that a lot more people will stay with you if they download your app. And this one's branded to you. So all of a sudden, it makes a bigger difference to me, Daryl. So,
well, I would say this, Tristan, too, is that about 6 months ago, I was fortunate to, and I'm not going to talk about brokerages because that's something I refuse to get into, but I was fortunate to be invited to Miami, and I got to meet the owners of Zillow, and that's another project that Wailopo is rolling out for free to their people, and that has been a great thing to be able to offer to sellers as a listing presentation, like menu selling, right? Look, you could sell this on your own. You could sell this. You could get a cash offer. or I could possibly get you this if you list with me, right? So that, even though Zillow is not 100% functioning through YLocal yet, but it will be. And the first, we've been with Zillow privately. So having options for sellers like options. So when you close all possible objections, you're going to win the listing appointments. If that makes sense.
I like that, man. Look, it's about adding the right tools for the type of business you have, right? And that's why I wanted to talk to you about this, because you're looking at adding all of the tools, whether they're AI or not, on your business, and your business functions primarily in closing two types of transactions. One is your sphere, past clients, that referral, right? One, referral. Number two,
right,
are online leads. So everything that you're looking at right now is, how can I add it to my strengths to simplify this process and get us more business?
right. And AI has been a game changer, right? Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, how else are you using it, or what are you thinking of adding?
So for us, we're excited with YLocal and the strengths that they're running. I think the huge benefit that I wrote this on social media the other day. Our big focus between you and I, outside of paid per leads or pay per click leads and YLocal and all that, is open houses. We have a 26 step process for open houses.
Wow.
26 steps. And it includes showing up at FSBOs and expireds before your open house. And fortunately for the brokerage that I'm at, we have this big box of printed material, right? So we show up with this big box of things, and we show up to the FSBOs and expireds, and we're like, hey, come on over to our open house. We're having, that's a quarter mile from our open house. But our big focus outside of pay-per-click and all that is open houses, because I'm not great in front of the camera. I'm not a TikTok guru, so that's not going to work for me, right? But going back to print, going back to old school, because what I've learned by holding open houses is that the majority of the people wanting to sell their homes are older, really old. And before, they were just going to keep their homes. I think they're fed up,
Well, think about that. That's why Facebook lead ads work well, right? That's why when you're out and connecting with people and networking, events like a pickleball game, that audience is much older. They own a home. Alicia's asking if you can share that open house process if you're able to. If not, don't worry about it. But if you can, dump it into the Facebook group. People would love that, Daryl.
Yeah, I will put it into the whole group. And again, there's some things in there that are broker specific, and I'm not trying to pitch any brokerages. I just do my job, and do my work. But I will put that in the Facebook group for Tristan,
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. And then for those of you asking about Rooster in Canada, it is available. So I just texted with the CEO. It is available. And I wanted to share something with you, Daryl, because we prospect a lot, and I do a whole prospecting session live with our coaching group on Thursdays. And I know some people don't want to practice live, so it's usually just me or one of my team leaders that are prospecting live. Everyone else can mute themselves or listen in. But here's one way I suggest that people practice. And you are familiar with, everyone loves ChatGPT. So I'm going to show you something, okay? I pre-uploaded you could do it on the phone, you can do it on the desktop, but when you use it to talk to it, you got to do it on the phone. I pre-texted in here the type of person I'm going to be talking to. For me, it's a buyer lead inquiring about real estate on my website. They're looking for a home in Malibu, up to $4 million. They're just looking. They don't want to see any homes right now, but they'll be interested in buying a home in 6 months. They want views, and they want to be close to shops. And I said, I'll call you and you can interact with me. So I'm setting the premise as to who I'm calling to script with them live. Okay. This is how I practice. I also practice with for sale by owners, expireds. I can tell the expired, hey, give me 10 objections before you say yes. All right. So now I'm going to show you here. I'm going to move out so I can show you. ChatGPT at the bottom right there. As soon as I press the little headset, it's going to turn around and I can interact with it. I'm going to call it. Watch. It's going to click on it. Hi, is this Rose? I was calling because you just inquired about a home on our website through Google.
Yes, this is Rose.
Excellent.
I recently inquired about homes in Malibu through your website. My budget is around $4 million.
Well,
and I'm looking for a property with...
As I start asking questions and you refine it, you can start scripting with it. It'll say, no, I'm just looking. And then it'll say, no, I'm just looking. And then you just have to keep on digging. So what brought you here? But it gives those people that are looking for a way to run objections or run and practice the ability to do it with this. You just have to refine it. So anyway, take a look at that.
Absolutely.
Alicia, you have to share it. Sarah, are you inside of our Facebook group for Follow Up Boss? If not, let me grab the link right now and send it over to you. Follow Up Boss, Facebook. Dude, I'll tell you, I'm excited because I'm watching what's happening and with just technology in general. And I can tell you that where we're heading is going to allow us, people that are in real estate looking to always add new things. I think it's going to take us to a whole new level to be able to scale. Here, I just put it in there. Be able to scale and offer the consumer the experience that they want. Because I think the biggest challenge...
Yep.
Go ahead, Darren.
No, I think, I look at it like this, right? Back in the days, we used to listen to records, right? And then we listen to CDs. And now we go on our phone and we listen to music. At some point, I think the problem is people don't... I think the biggest hurdle for agents is that they don't want to learn new technology, right? The funny part is everybody who comes to my team, they're like, dude, this is so overwhelming. I'm like, you have 2 websites you need to go to. That is it. Or for us, Follow Up Boss and Opo. Yeah. But once they learn it, right, and they just stop saying negative things, right? Because everybody's like, I don't want to learn this. Look, how did you used to listen to music? You don't have a record player in your car. You don't even have a CD player in your car anymore. So like the faster people are open to wanting to learn like ChatGPT or artificial intelligence and all these other options, and I get it. Agents make a lot of money just doing things the old way. I get it. It's just about what you want. And I'm telling you, people were so worried that, Zillow was going to take over real estate. Well, I'm not so worried about that. There's probably another company sitting in the background building out right now, that we don't even know about, that could show up and do all this, through AI or tools. But the problem is the other problem is, the good thing is that agents can't be replaced because people still like people. And people still want to have those conversations. So getting on the phone with people, and people don't want to answer the phone. Like how many, Tristan, if I walked up and banged on your door, you'd be like, who's here? Because you wouldn't be expecting it.
Unless it's Amazon. Yeah, unless it's Amazon. I'm not gonna...
But the thing is that people need, that's why I'm so inclined, okay, let AI do the heavy lifting and answering or calling people like Rhea and all that. And again, you have to be educated and trained and scripted, so when you do get on the phone, you don't sound like a bumbling idiot when people start throwing objections. Tristan just showed us a prime example on how to do that. And then, sending people videos of you, just being yourself and how you want to be helpful. And that way they see you're a real person. And again, I think, and then I'm going to let you jump back in. I think the problem is every real estate agent thinks every client is their client. That's the most foolish thing I've ever heard. People are not... I fired a client who was $1.2 million the other day. I said, I can't do this. I said, you're going to make my life hell, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. And almost all these tools like ChatGPT, they're free. You don't have to pay for things like these. And YouTube is free. And I feel like agents just make a lot of excuses a lot of the time. And trust me, if it's too good to be true, it's not happening. Like blogging in on social media and talking about every sold home that your broker has sold is not going to get you a listing. You might get one here or there, but you need to go above and beyond. Sorry, that was my rant. Sorry for that. Tristan.
Love that, man. I love that.
Truth, you know?
It is. It's very true. And the free version, there's a free version for ChatGPT. Question. Version I was using is $20. So you can definitely do that.
It's worth it. Trust me.
It definitely use it. It's definitely worth it. Yeah. All right, dude. In closing, how do people get a hold of you if they have questions, or maybe they want to join? They're in your area. Do you have an email? What do you like?
Daryl Wazinski on Facebook, Instagram. Daryl at elegantholmesrealty.com. I'm working on this company that you see in the background. This is for listing leads, divorcerealestate.com, and 877 breakup is the phone number. So that's like my next big adventure, to supply agents with listing leads or a referral fee.
That's awesome, man. Thank you for doing that.
Well, thank you so much for having me. You're a great person in the community. You really provide a lot of value. And I hope that I was able to help some people. You know, the biggest thing, seller alerts on everybody.
Honestly, that's what I wrote on top of the other things, but that to me was the big one. Look, we're going to go deeper on this. There's a virtual event that we're doing on Wednesday. It's like 3 hours or 4 hours. However, we've got like 2,200 people registered for it. I put up the link. If you haven't registered, put it up there. Dave, I'm pretty sure we'll answer your question there as well. There it is, followboss.com/summit. Just jump in, register. I'm co-hosting it with Ricardo, and I also have a whole session on there as well. So Daryl, thank you for doing this, man. I'm glad we finally got to do this. So I'd like to talk to you probably like later, mid 2024, to see where you're at and see what trajectory.
Well, I'm sure I'll see you at Wild Opal Summit, or I'm sure I'll see you before then in person. I'm sure we'll, thank you again, Tristan. Thank you for all that you do for the community. You're definitely somebody to look up to. I appreciate you.
Thank you. And thanks to everybody else. Appreciate you.
Bye, guys.